Hi, everyone. My name is Holly Lehman. I am a product marketing manager on Microsoft Teams, and I am so happy to be a part of the Cloud Summit 2021 Azure Focus. So Azure Focus, you're probably wondering why I'm here. Well, as we're going to talk about today, you are in charge of managing your own career. And when I had the beautiful opportunity to join you today, I was sitting in engineering as a program manager on Azure. But like everything else, things change. And I'm so excited to tell you how my career changed, what I input, how I drove my passion, and hopefully I can help you with your next steps in your career. So let's go. Manage your career with passion reimagined. What in the world does that mean? Well, let's talk about it. So quite often we apply for a role and it sounds really fun. It sounds right what we want to do, right up our alley. And we start the role and we find out maybe it's not exactly what we thought. But that doesn't change who you are. You applied for this role because of your passion, because of your talents, because of your skills. So how do you influence your role for the positive, and how do you drive your next steps in your career? So when we think about my own personal example, my background, believe it or not, I worked in an administrative side of the world for law enforcement. Sorry, you guys, I have a dog in the back. I apologize. Um, I started, 8 years in law enforcement, working at a jail, working at two police departments, and I loved it, to be honest. What did it teach me, though? What did I walk away with? So I learned attention to detail. I learned how to follow policy, procedure. I also learned what I missed. And I missed people, and I missed having fun and engaging with people in a way that made me feel good. So I moved my career and went to hospitality. I worked at almost every front of house department you could think of, and I loved it. But I also was able to bring with me the skills that I learned from my previous role to my advantage. So the attention to detail was great. Ability to define myself in ambiguous situations was great. But now I'm in hospitality where everything's ambiguous. How do I show up differently? So I learned that being really busy and taking on a variety of projects was what I enjoyed. I found almost a calmness in chaos. So part of my career led me to being one of the first people to open one of the resorts in Vegas. And that's where, without even realizing it, I got my PM hat on. I took on a number of departments, a number of different projects, working with a number of different people in all different facets. And now moving forward, here I am, Seattle, Washington, working in Microsoft. I felt so blessed, but I also felt like I didn't belong. What in the world was I doing here? But as I grew in my career and I found that there was a need and a want for community engagement, we have this beautiful group of humans, customers, partners, MVPs, who need a bright personality that wants to drive chaos, be in events, pull people together, get people in a room chatting. So what I would say to you is what defines you? How do you show up differently in your job when you realize what your passion is? And how did I define my role? So within Azure, my role changed just like every other role does. And I realized I missed community so much. So with a friend, we thought about starting up the North Star Partner Program. And I woke up excited again. I got to talk to all these amazing humans in technology from all over the world and share their story. That was what I was passionate about. I also fell into COVID just like everybody else. Our world's changed, every single one of us from around the world. And that change was positive. It made us think outside of the box. It made us look at our job differently. How do we show up every day in our home, doing our job to the best of our ability in this completely different world that happened overnight? Well, what's that moment going to be for you? What's that moment going to be for you where you decide to look at your job differently, where you decide to show up differently? You code, you create, you program, you develop, you test, but what else do you do? How do you want to show up differently and innovate your role and bring others along your journey to have passion for what you do every day? And how does that passion help you move your career along the road? I had to realize what I missed, what I learned, what I liked, and what I didn't like. But what I knew I loved was community. So fast forward, because of this crazy situation called COVID, I feel like a lot of us started to look for the socialization opportunities on social platforms. Might be GitHub, might be Reddit, it might be LinkedIn, it might be Facebook, whatever it is for you. But for me, I found a dear friend through the MVP community and became quite close to Isadora Ketanique. Together, we talked about our love and our passion for the community that's out there. Not just MVP, but MVP, partner, and customer. We wouldn't be where we are without each one of these communities and what they're driving for us and our services and our products. Their feedback, their investments, their thought process about how things work or why they don't, or what we need on a day-to-day basis to make our working style even better. So after we did a funny TikTok just for fun, and we learned that people were laughing, whether they were laughing with us or at us, we didn't even care. We knew that people in the community were coming together. That led us to the idea, maybe it'd be fun to do a video series. People miss each other. That's our passion. People, community, driving unity and collaboration. And so after a lot of thought, we had this great idea and we looked for the opportunity where we could drive people together, sharing positive stories in the tech community and their passion for community through a video series called Head in the Cloud, Heart in the Community. In this event, sure, I had to partner with someone who balanced me. What did Izzy bring? What did I bring? How could we partner together in a way that made us both succeed and the community succeed? If you're thinking of something that you're passionate about, you don't have to partner with somebody, but truly do some self-reflection into where your strengths lie, where you can grow, and how you can take what you love and integrate it, weave it in to your career. I promise it's only going to make you stronger. So what drives your passion? You know, there's a lot of people in tech that have amazing talents outside of coding, creating, programming, developing, testing, things like that. For some people, they love writing. They love inventing. They love the engineering piece of it without the coding piece. They want to provide something to the community, to educate, to drive. What is it for you? And what do you need to do to really succeed? You know, in our venture for Head in the Cloud, Heart in the Community, it was understanding, what do we need from each other? Let's really be methodical. Let's plan this out. What do we want to land? What is our goal that we want to achieve? What are the logistics of it all? She's in Switzerland. I'm in Seattle. For you, you need to think about, is it your imposter syndrome? Is it your own voice telling you that you can't do it, but we all know that you can? What is it for you that you're going to need to overcome? Is it that you want to learn a new coding language? Is it that you want to be a better blogger, a better writer? Whatever it is, take the time to really look at yourself. I'm sorry about Poppy. And really think about what is going to make you the best version of you, and how can you take that and be strong enough and confident enough to go to your manager and say, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and here's the benefit and the return of investment it's going to bring to you. And lastly, if you have ever watched our episode, there's one session where we talk about the imposter syndrome. And we talk about showing up loudly as yourself. Being a female in tech, I've been told, change my look, don't wear as much makeup. It's going to be harder for you when you walk into a male-dominated room and speak. But that's okay, because I'm showing up as who I am. And when you show up who you are and you're not trying to fit into this mold or this reflection of what people think, you're going to show up stronger and more confident. And you're going to know that you're showing up because this is your skill. This is your passion. This is your talent. And you want to share it with everybody in the room. How do you show up every day? Are you showing up as yourself? Are you showing up as who you are day in and day out? I would ask you to really think about it as you think about your career growth down the road. Why is integrating your passion important? Well, when my role changed and I didn't have the community impact that I loved, I realized I wasn't as excited. I wasn't as motivated. I wasn't as eager. And those feelings made me really wake up and think, what can I do today to integrate a piece of work into my job that will not only bring a business strategic benefit, but also bring personal benefits to myself and do what I love, impact the community. When we thought about head in the cloud, heart in the community, the last thing I thought about was how it would integrate with work. But when I thought about how we can pull our partner stories and share it with our engineering team, drive feedback from these incredible humans who are eager to share technical feedback, I loved it. I connected with people all over the world. I was able to really share what people want to do, is to talk about the tech and do it in a way where we get to showcase the work that these amazing humans are doing. When I thought about head in the cloud, heart in the community, it had nothing to really do with Azure or my day job in specific. But you know what it did do? It's diversity and inclusion at its finest. You didn't have to be a Microsoftie. You didn't have to work in a certain technology. You didn't have to live in a certain area. And it was a way of driving customer, partner, MVP stories and advocate for diversity and inclusion, which that's what we all care about right now. We need to lead with empathy, drive what everybody is striving for, which is respect for one another, a kindness, and bringing people with you on your journey. When I approached my manager about both ideas, he loved it. Sure, I had to prove it. Sure, I had to do the work. But if you're willing to do the work and do the research, you're going to love the outcome. You're going to feel impactful, and you're going to know that you are driving your career today, tomorrow, and for the future. Now, for those of you that were wondering, what in the world does this have to do with Azure? My goal in this session was to make each one of you feel a little better, a little stronger. Look at your passion, not just a job description. Look at what you want to go after and how you can think outside of the box and bring something different into your day job. And what does that look like down the road? What can you create? What is your love and your passion? And how can you partner with others? How can you create with others? And how can you show up more differently every single day? I want to see everybody that is listening show up with a newfound passion, your health better, your heart better, a sense of confidence, and a love for what you do. So now, whether you're Azure, whether you're MVP, partner, customer, whatever company you're working for, my ask is that you go and get after your goal. I'm Holly Lehman. Thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of the summit. Take care.